took my dog for his first groom of the year yesterday, and when I went to collect him, as always, I said to the girl, "You've done a great job there." And we got chatting, and she told me that he's the only Bedlington Terrier that she's ever done loads of cockapoos. She said they come and go, and I'm well used to working on those. But when I first knew that I was doing a Bedlington Terrier, I did some research, need to get it right. And even now, I spend more time with him than I do with some of the other dogs because I need to get the cut right. And as I left the shop, I was thinking about the conversation, and I was thinking in particular of that concept of paying attention to detail, needing to get something right. And as I thought about that, I then, as I so often do, thought about a particular scripture, a passage in the Bible. And in this instance, it's Matthew chapter 21 and verses 1 to 3. As they approached Jerusalem and came to Bethphage on the Mount of Olives, Jesus sent 2 disciples, saying to them, "Go to the village ahead of you, and at once you will find a donkey tied there with her colt by her. Untie them and bring them to me. If anyone says anything to you, tell him that the Lord needs them, and he will send them right away." Attention to detail. It's good to see the big picture. It's important to see the big picture. Jesus didn't just say, "Go into the village and bring me a couple of donkeys." He said, "Go, you'll find," gave exact detail, and if anyone says anything, this is what you should say back to them. So there was an attention to detail. It seems an eternity ago now, but it's only a few weeks since we entered into a new year. And I can remember doing a message for the church at Hiraeth based on New Year's resolutions, and how people will have this idea of new year, new me. I'm going to be a better person. It's going to be a great year. 2025 will be the best one yet, etc. The big picture, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with any of those things. But as I said then, and I reiterate now, what about the detail? New year, new me. What are we going to do different? What decisions will we be making now that we perhaps didn't make previously? What things are we going to stop in our lives? How are we going to stop them? Might be a challenge, might be difficult, might not be straightforward. What things are we going to start doing in our life? Again, you need to plan the detail to accomplish those things. If we run a business, you don't just think, we want a successful business. By the end of, this time next year, Rodney will be millionaires. How are you going to make it a success? How are you going to achieve what you state at that moment in time? The big picture is great, but there needs to be detail. If you run a sports club or an organisation or a church or a charity, it doesn't matter what it is, there has to be a big picture. When we started the church at Hiraeth in November 2023, we then moved on. A tangible step forward was January this year when we launched a website. So that was a big step forward, obviously, as far as that's concerned. But behind the scenes, there's lots of attention to detail. Things aren't just happening. It's all part of a plan. I'm a keen angler, another example. So it's nothing to do with work or business or organizations, but your own personal life. I'm a keen fisherman. I don't just go and get some tackle, get the first rod I see, just stick a bit of tackle in the back of the car and drive and come to the first bit of water I find and cast out and see how it goes. I know in advance. I'll know the previous day where I'm going and what I'm going to be fishing for, what tackle I will use, what bait I will use, what time of the day I will go, what time of the day I'll come back. I have it planned out, not in a regimented way so that it doesn't become a pleasure, but I'll know in advance exactly what detail will be applied to that fishing session. The big picture is I want to go fishing and I want to enjoy it, and I will. But the detail is, how will you enjoy it? How do you intend to make the most of your time by the side of the river, the pool, the lake, or the pond? Never forget the big picture. It's always important, but equally so, never take your eye off the detail. That is very, very important indeed.